Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Season 2, Episode 1 of Hard Hats and Headspace with me, Stuart Wallace. This season, we're going to have lots of people joining us across different industries, different sectors with amazing stories. We're not just sticking to construction and recruitment and all the things that I've done, but I am fortunate. I've got some amazing people in my life to talk to. So some you'll expect, some you won't. I think today's one of those. We're going to have the wonderful Danny Mac on the show. He is the proprietor of Mac's Farm in Ditchling. He's going to talk about his life and career and what it's like running the Mac Shack and the farm with his family. Welcome back. Glasses on spray. Right, welcome everyone back to the podcast. As I said in the intro, I've got Danny Mac with me, my mate who owns Mac's Farm over in Ditchling.
Hello, everyone.
We're going to have some fun conversation, some serious conversation as well about us, about life, working, mental health, and all those things that come with it that people who listen are used to hearing me talk about. So welcome, Danny. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me.
Good Christmas?
Yeah, really good Christmas.
Yeah.
Too much to drink, too much to eat.
Brilliant.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's what it's all about. And so it's been, I've had a couple of weeks off from recording a podcast, but we discussed this last year over a few beers and a couple of camping games about recording a podcast together because like most of us, we've got the lines, we've got the tell lines of a life lived.
Yeah.
And I think you've got an interesting story for us to talk about. And that will help other people.
I'm willing to share everything.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about you then, Danny? A bit more than I've done in the intro.
59 years old, male, obviously. You don't know nowadays. 59-year-old male. Born in Scotland. Father was heavy drinking, ex-army Scotsman. Mum was she was one of 5. She was the only girl, so she was pretty tough. I met my dad in the army, had me when they were 21, and that's kind of where the story begins. And I'm a carpenter and farmer.
Handy.
Yeah, too handy sometimes. People take the piss, but I can never normally say no. Even when I'm really busy, I normally try and help out. But that's starting to wane a bit now. It's starting to kind of go, no, I can't. But then I feel really guilty. And I've got three real sisters. I've got a half sister and 3 half brothers. That's a story on its own. And I'm married to Susie, and we own the Mac's Farm. And I've got 3 boys and a girl. And my eldest boy is Dino, and he's 35 and just about to become a dad. So
yeah, saw that. Amazing. Congrats.
I'm really excited. It's been first. I've been wanting to be a granddad for a long time, and I'm really happy. So him and my daughter-in-law Kelly, they're due in about 8 weeks, I think.
That's amazing.
Something like that. So 1st of March.
Took the pressure off the others then.
Well, the others are a bit younger. They're both travelling. Well, one of them's at home. He's doing criminology. He's done criminology, and he's just got his first big boy job. Joey's he's a plumber living in Australia at the moment with his girlfriend from England, Chaz, and she's a really good girl. And my daughter, she's travelling in Australia as well. So we're going to go and see him in about 2 weeks or a week. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Bit of sun, see the kids, see some friends, and get some sea as well.
Get a
swimming.
And a bit of a break from farm life, I would think, as well.
Just a total switch off. I don't get excited about going away until I get to the airport. I don't think that something's going to go wrong, but always, once I'm at the airport, I can't change anything. I've got a phone. If there's problems, and sort it out over that.
So how long you been farming for then?
I got married in 98. About 1993, I started getting into, I was courting Susie. And courting, that
makes us both feel, because I know what you meant then.
Yeah, courted Susie. And then our dad and mum, they were in farming, they were in poultry, mainly eggs. It was free range eggs. Pete was the first person to start the real free range movement. Yeah. And it done them good for a few years, quite a few years. Well, it obviously it's done them good, all of us, because we've all benefited well from it. We've just kind of carried on with that. I done a load of work for him for nothing, basically, because I was courting his daughter, his only daughter, helped build some farms, and the farm I'm on now, I actually, it was an old pig farm, and we renovated it for poultry. And then lo and behold, we end up owning it. Yeah, so we're really happy. But it's been a journey. It has been a journey.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I didn't realise till about 3 weeks ago I'd seen you elsewhere before I knew you, and it was on the telly.
Right.
With, I think Jamie Oliver came on one of his shows to see you, and I was intrigued by how hard it was doing what you were doing.
Yeah.
And then the supermarket side of that relationship as well. So I was interested in that and how you'd coped with that, or the story of it, if you like.
Well, coming from construction into farming was a really real eye opener, because I was construction, and I loved what I'd done, and I loved the camaraderie even with other builders and stuff.
Yeah,
they kind of share things, and you see things when you're working with. Like, you could be doing something for years, and then you'll see a chippy do it a different way, and you kind of go, "That's brilliant! I've seen it. That's saved me. It might be minutes, but it's made it easier." Farming's very close to your chest. They don't really like to share things out, and I found that pretty hard learning a new kind of trade, if you can call it a trade. And it was a real eye opener to go into that, and I basically had to self-teach myself. Then you've got the pressure of these animals that really need you. Not, I'm going to be sick today, which I never was, but you can't phone up the chicken and say, "Don't lay any eggs today," or can't phone a customer like you could a customer say it's pissing down, and you can't go and do the roof for them. But yeah, so it does, the transition into that was full on 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and seeing that money margins were gradually getting cut by the supermarkets, and you're starting to feel like this is like slave labour, really.
Yeah, hard,
yeah, hard graft. You think it was hard enough on the building, but farming is relentless, really relentless. And anything you try, working with animals, they say, what was it?
Animals
kids,
and children.
And I can see why having 4 kids of my own.
I think get more sense out of chickens.
Yeah, but you try everything. So with animals, there's ambient things in the area that you can do everything and have a really good flock, and then you do exactly the same in the next flock. It's totally wrong, and you just cannot relax at all. And that's been a real big kind of learning curve, a real big stress, like awful stress, like on your mental health, your physical health, your marital status, family, your kids, your parents, everything. But at the end of the day, you cannot just sit back and that. You kind of basically got to say to your kids or your parents or whatever, bugger off. I've got to sort these animals before I sort anything.
Yeah.
So you've always got that stress in the back of your head.
And that must have taken its toll on you over the years.
It did. I'm not saying I'm glad it happened. Before, I did have a breakdown. I can't remember how many years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. It was like being hit. People say hit by a bus. It was really shocking, because I went self-employed when I was 17, 18, finished my college, and then went straight out contracting. And then I was getting so much private work, I ended up going on my own. Big rugby fan, big rugby player, front row.
Yeah.
Always having my, not stubborn or insensitive or anything, but always had my own thought process, methodical, working through things, being your own boss. You got to keep the customers happy, ordering materials, doing the job, pricing up and stuff like that. Then get into farming with the same sort of pressures, but different.
Yeah.
And then young family. I always thought I was in control of my head. All I can say. Always been quite, even though I'm a joker and I mess around, and I've always, if I've upset somebody, I'm distraught. Not distraught.
Yeah.
I'm really. I don't mean to upset anyone, but I'm a joker.
Sticks with you, doesn't it?
You worry about it. I can feel like sometimes, and not so much now because I'm calmed down. Well, I say that, maybe not. I used to be I like to talk about that.
We talked before we start press record. I do that all the time. But when I got my diagnosis with some mental health, depression and ADHD, and I was talking through my therapy about there's things in my head that I did as a kid that I still beat myself up about. Like 2 other people, but not on purpose, but the outcome was terrible. But even things I said as a young adult and as a professional where it's come out wrong. And I didn't mean it.
Yeah. A bit naive to it.
Yeah. But you are naive, right? You're a kid, even when you're in your 20s. And I think that resonates with me. And I think, you're not alone on that. Like, it's hard, isn't it?
Well, I can be at work. I say not so much now, but before the week after you've been out on the piss or you've done something silly or whatever, you could feel yourself going red with embarrassment. Did I say that? Did I do that? Or someone would say, Danny, did you know that you done that or said this? And you just like, did I really? Oh God.
What did I do that for?
Why did I say that? Why did I take my clothes off? Why did I? Why did I do that? But again, we all, especially rugby boys, we live in a rugby boys weekends. We live in that male environment where it's just have fun, get drunk, and have fun, and just let your head down. The camaraderie again, and on building as well. You've got that. The things that was said when I was younger on a building site, you were just like, really? But it does stay in your head, and then it makes you a kind of person that you are. Some stuff's awful, but some of it makes you the way you are, your character, your fun side, and then you go play rugby at weekends, and it's kind of there as well. It teaches you, and you learn off of it, good and bad. But the mental health side of it is. I see a therapist now, and it's been real eye opener to go right back to you kind of right back to basic bones right from the beginning and hear how things do affect you from your parents, what you give through your parents and your family when you're so young, and what you think is right, which sometimes might be wrong, and you bring it all up, and then it could affect your kids, or the other way. You think, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be a child beater. I'm not going to be that. So you want to provide. Some people follow the path. I think, touch wood, and hope. Well, at 59, I should know that I wasn't that kind of follower of the path. I turned it right round, and in a way, the pressure of that, because you're stepping into the unknown and stuff like that, takes a toll on you mentally as well.
I don't know about you, but the hardest part for me was realizing I needed help was the first part, and then taking some help. I don't know about you, because you were saying about 5 or 6 years ago you had a breakdown.
I didn't. There was no, with me, my wife Susie, she saw, me and Susie have had a totally different upbringing. I was a council boy with a mum that had 4 kids that was just trying to feed her kids and clothe them and a roof over their head. When my dad was just, he ended up being the perfect granddad, but as a dad, he was absolutely useless. Not to say useless, he was a heavy drinking, gambling, womanizing man that never provided at all. And when you're younger, you don't see that, you just live with that. But it does obviously go into your head. I didn't even think I needed help at all. So Susie did. And because I never had any time, the word time really kind of was a scary thing. Everyone was asking me to do everything, even Susie and the kids. Never had any time. Then she'd say, "You're miserable," which then makes you you're offended then.
Yeah.
And then hurt. You're kind of hurt that your wife's thinking of you like that, and all you're trying to do is. I can remember my thing was Susie said, "There's something wrong with you."
Yeah.
I was kind of oblivious, but I was like, "No, it's because I've got to finish this job. When I finish this job, I've got rid of it. I've ticked it off, and then I'm going to be all right." And there's another job, and then there's another job, and there's another job, and I'm just before you know it, and you don't even realise it. You're treading water. You're just keeping your head above water, as they say. And I didn't even realise it. That was just me. I just always busy, always doing stuff. And then it hit me. It hit me one morning. Obviously, I'd had. I was a bit upset and emotionally kind of torn that I'm being told that this, but one morning I just woke up and that was it. Never felt like this panic, this what is wrong with me ever. And I've been in some serious panicky places with work, with rugby, with travelling and stuff like that, but nothing like this. This was scary. I've always been even though I'm a carpenter, played front row and the thing, I've always been a bit claustrophobic. So put me in a lift or put me in a simulator or even on a busy underground.
Yeah.
I've always been a bit but this feeling that I had this, I think it was a Tuesday, 1 o'clock in the morning, this feeling, it was nothing. I would never wish it on anybody.
Horrible.
Just a total panic of negativity. And I just remember getting up thinking, well, what's happening? What's going on? Really scared. Went downstairs, sitting on the couch, saw my son Dean. I can remember that. And then he went and woke Susie. And then Susie come down and we waited till the doctor was open and it was getting worse. Didn't know where I was going. I've had a few friends that have committed suicide or gone the wrong way. Even one of my old doctors committed suicide. So you start thinking, I didn't think I was going to go and do that, but because it was all new to me, everything that was negative was like, is this a build up to do it? Is this what happens? Is this what happens to someone when they're starting to feel like this?
Yeah.
So you're really scared of that when you know you've got a lovely family, house, you've had a really good life, and you just think, is this just how it's going to happen? How's my kids going to feel? How's my wife going to feel? What has caused this? Really, really, really scary time. And for them as well. But at that time, you're so stuck in that head space. You're so scared of. You're not really thinking of anybody else. You're just thinking, what's it going? You're not even thinking about yourself. You're just thinking, where's this going? What has caused this? I've never heard of this. So mental health is real. And I would have been, if someone turned around to me, rugby, work, or whatever, and turned around and said what I was going through, I would have said, I'm not coming into work because I would have said,
no chance.
I just want a day off.
Yeah.
You're skiving. And I've never been, and this really was a wake up call to that kind of understanding that it's real.
But did that take you out for a while? And getting help and out of action.
It took me out for a long time. I couldn't sleep. I was scared to sleep. I was paranoid that if I took sleeping tablets, that I'd get addicted to them. I was scared. I couldn't leave Susie. I just couldn't. Anything funny that. My favourite film is The Life of Brian. I'm not religious at all. It's one of them. I cry with laughter every time I watch it. I do like funny stuff. Rugby. I love watching rugby. I couldn't get any enjoyment from rugby. The only thing that gave me a release, but I just felt like I had a real dark cloud over me, following me the whole time, was when I went out on my bike. And I'd go out in the morning at 6 o'clock and I wouldn't come back all day. And then I'd get home, I'd get indoors, and I just felt really down, scared, and I didn't know where it's going. So we ended up seeing the doctor, and she said, "You're depressed," and you take that as you're the person that you are. You've provided, you've had fun, you've done all that you can do for your wife, kids, and everything you do, and someone says you're depressed. I hate the word depressed. Like antidepressants. I hate the word antidepressants. It just makes everyone go, oh, can I stay away from
Yeah.
I
still
they
understand it.
changed the word to mood enhancers or something.
Something like that, yeah. I get it because I didn't go. It wasn't the same epiphany moment. That's probably the wrong phrase, but the same moment. But it was. It was a realization of shit. I'm not right.
Yeah.
I'm going to see this wonderful psychologist, but also the medication. Now I've spent 48. 30 odd years on different medication for psoriasis. And so you kind of I've just got used to going, it's just a different medication or a pill to try or an injection and all that. So I didn't mind, but it was the word antidepressant. But they didn't say that to me. They said, this will help lift your mood. It will help with your ADHD and it'll help with the impulsiveness of things like just got to buy it now or smoking or drinking or eating or all that stuff. It will just help you control that stuff because that stuff is trying to counter the dark side of your moods and your brain.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah. But they never said about it. They told me I had depression, anxiety and depression. That's what it is. It's weird, isn't it? Because actually, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders when I was told that. And the person was like, well, how do you feel? Are you upset with that? Like, no, I wondered what this is.
Yeah.
And now you've told me, right, what do we do? How do we sort this? Well, okay, it's not just a tablet. We're going to have to work out how you got here. It might take 3 sessions. It might take 30 sessions. It could take 100. Like, you might be coming here the rest of your life. That was worrying because I got the bill. So I left, right? But in terms of, I mean, money-wise, best money I ever spent, I think that bit, that someone says, I'm going to help you get better. That for me, that's what I needed. Someone who's not my wife, not my parents or my kids or my friends. And I'm blessed. We're blessed. We have similar, a similar group of friends as well, but also, people around where I live and what I do for a living, the people I work with are great, but they're not experts in this.
No.
Right? And you've got to go. So you must have gone off at some point then. You've seen the GP and they've said,
well, I saw the GP
but
and my GP was totally understanding. Basically gave her a private number because she said he's already thinking the paranoid bit of where's this going. I'm feeling nothing I've felt before, and then the doctor, you're picking things out of what they're saying, and I'm in a panic. I'm not my normal self. I'm in a total panic of, I suppose, paranoia. She said anybody says the wrong negative thing, you'll pick up on it. So she said, "Oh, well, you're going to go on these tablets." She said, "Are they going to make you worse?" I'm straight away. I'm like, how can I go any worse? And I am. So then start taking them, and I'm getting worse, and I'm getting worse. Calling her, she's like, come and see me, and she's talking to me. She's fantastic. If it did go the wrong way, she was the one that was my rock at that time.
yeah.
And then I remember I didn't want anyone to know. I was embarrassed. I was paranoid. Then I remember sitting in a car one day in the passenger seat. I couldn't leave Susie's thing. And we were having some chickens delivered, and not just chickens. I'm beating myself up that I couldn't help unload them. These are 6,000, 12,000 chickens being delivered. It's not like 6 and you put them in a box. This is
in truckloads. Yeah.
Yeah, this is specialist stuff. And I couldn't help. Susie gets out the truck and I'm worried that she's going, what's going to happen to me? And then I just don't. And then this guy, Martin, he put his hand on my sharp arm and he went, I know what you're going through. And then I'm a little bit kind of like, who's you been talking to? Susie. Like, and then he turned to me and said, I'm going through it at the moment. And I went, what? And it's just like I woke up a bit. Someone else is going through this. And then he turned around and he said, I've tried all the cognitive stuff. And he said, you've started taking the medication. So far, I think I've hit the lowest of the low that cognitive therapy wouldn't have helped me.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah. Didn't see him again after that. And then about a year later, I saw him and he went, you helped me. I went, what? I said, I was shit order. I said, I couldn't have helped anything or anybody. He said, because you said you were on medication. And but my medication hadn't started working. It was making me feel worse. He said, I've been doing cognitive therapy for 2 years or something. And then he turned around and he said, and you said you went on medication. He said, I went on medication. And he said, it changed me. He said, it repaired me. It made me start repairing myself. Then this carried on and a few things. And then one day I was sitting on my couch in a mess, not obviously a mess like that, but just a mental mess. And I fell asleep. First time I'd fell asleep for eight weeks. And I woke up and I felt brand new. It's like amazing. I'd come out of a worse nightmare. Yeah, I'd come out of this. I woke up, I felt brand new. I went to the doctor. I said, I feel brand new. She said, she explained it. It's all to do with dopamine and
dopamine levels.
And what's the other one starts with S?
Serotonin.
Serotonin. She said basically your serotonin's not being made, and she explained it. And then she turned around and she said, "This is what the antidepressant, the SSRIs or whatever that."
Yeah.
She said it's starting to make you. Your happy's coming back. So I'm like, yeah, this is brilliant. I love it. Well, a high, as in, I don't know, a drunk high or a
drugs or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was wondering why it happened to me. I was so wondering why it happened to me. So we booked in to see a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And we goes there and we were walking down this corridor and I started getting a little bit claustrophobic because it was like, I've booked this, but I'm going through all these alleyways and they're taking me to a nut home.
Yeah.
I'm like in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a mess for your head there, don't we?
Yeah, it does. And then I gets into this room and then I'm sitting in the waiting room with Susie, obviously really worried, but not like the negative worried that before. And I'm watching this bloke over there and he's sitting there like this and he's just rocking and rumbling like this, talking to himself. And I'm thinking, is that me? I've got a benign tremor anyway, so I shake a lot anyway.
Yeah.
And is this what I'm going to end up like? Not to Susie, but to myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, gets into the thing to see the psychiatrist and he comes out and it's a bloke. So straight away I'm thinking, ex-Marine.
Yeah.
20 years before got taken out of the Marines because he had PTSD. And he starts talking to me and he said, you've got PTSD. I went, how? In the army? He said, no, with your upbringing, rugby, your stress of work, family life and all that. He said, this is PTSD. I'm like, totally shocked me. And he started going on about everything that's going on me. And then he went, take my coat off. He said, but you're not that bloke sitting in the corridor, in the room. And I started thinking, did he just put him there?
You know.
Just put him there as a kind of thing to say that all the time to everyone. You got to get in. You are paranoid about stuff. But he opened my mind to everything that had been going on. And for him to go through what he was doing, then to be a psychiatrist, I was just like, that bloke's amazing. He's gone through what I've done and he's obviously bettered himself and he's helping so many people. And then that's when I kind of started feeling a lot better, to the stage of feeling brand new again.
Yeah. And it is.
But I always say, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
I always say, I wouldn't put it, but in a way, I'm glad I wouldn't want it to happen and I wouldn't have wanted, but I'm glad I've experienced it because I can understand with other people now. If someone turns around that, and I have spoken to quite a few people, friends, that have gone through it, and hopefully I've helped them. Just with my story.
You will. I've done throughout 2025 a lot of these podcasts of different subjects and whatever. The one thing I get on direct messages from various people, this week's podcast really helped me because I didn't know there was someone like me.
Right.
Yeah. Or whether that's me when I did a different one or the different people I've had. And there aren't many people like you and me, same height, right? Same build, same beard, right? White
same haircut,
same haircut. Yeah, cord yours up. Saying, I've struggled. I know how to deal with that struggle now. Yeah, I don't think, I still have days where I'm a bit, but I know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
But you will help people. 100% you will have helped people. And we didn't know each other well, but when we were on holiday together, and we just had that chat and hit it off, and we're like, oh shit, we've been through similar things.
Similar sort of things,
it's not no situation's the same, because although it was funny listening to you talking about you and Susie, lad from a council estate, lad from North Wales, might as well be a council estate, right? And Jackie's from down here, this lovely part of the world, and lovely kids, who worked hard, always felt working hard was what was going to bring joy. But you don't want to be a busy fool.
No.
Right? So doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I think so this part of what I'm doing, and what you're, having you come on here is incredibly important. We will help someone else. If it's one person, it makes this afternoon well worth it, right?
And hopefully it does, because you don't want to feel like you're on your own. You don't. If your experience or whatever can actually make someone go, it does get better. You can get better, but just getting that better is just the first of it, is knowing that someone else, you're not the only person in the world that it's happened to. But you don't want to take that as just blasé. You just want people to know that it does happen. If they get to see their quack or whatever and get on the right treatment, the right therapy or whatever, it's so good to know that someone else has done it or been through it or whatever.
And it is done it. You've been definitely got the t-shirt, and you just think, when I come out of this, maybe I hadn't been listening in the right places, but I had no version of me out there saying, hey, this is all right to talk about what it is, and this is how I got some help. Doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but I'm pretty sure it might have some effect.
Even if it's a little snippet.
Yeah, just an inspiration to go and talk about your mental health. What drove me, long before I realised, or I was at my lowest point, I was doing stuff with the Lions Barber Collective. I've had Tom Chapman on here, and we used to pop up barbershops on construction sites. Maybe we should get them down to do one at the max.
Yeah.
On a weekend.
They have to do our beads.
I still have mine polished. What we found with blokes in construction, and it is sadly the highest level of suicide in industry is in construction, closely followed by farming, and as we said before, healthcare, fire brigade, all of these areas. Getting people to talk is hard, but there is being touched and someone giving you a hug, like you saying that you so close to Susie, that was probably the one person who could touch and talk to you and get you to talk. It's really hard outside of your loved ones to allow someone to touch you. First of all, when you're on site, you might not be on site for long if you go around touching people, but if you're a barber, you can, right? And the endorphins that it releases helps people relax and feel more likely to talk. I go to the barber still, he shaves it to this length. But you put your phone down, because you can't have it. You got a gown on.
Yeah.
And you talk to people. And I was listening to Tom. Tom started the Lions Barbers. And I said, how am I going to get guys sitting as close as we are to talk? Maybe a meter apart. They put the cloak on. It's like the Harry Potter cloak of invisibility.
It's a bit like the shield, yeah.
They start talking, and the freedom comes from it, and people starting to, I've got this thing. I've tried to be this person, and I'm not that person. But they were coming out and going, I feel like a new man, Stu.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done a haircut. And we just went, free haircuts. Mental health, first aid, trained barbers.
Right.
And it was brilliant. And just having that thing. So that's what started getting me into saying, we have a problem. This is a solution. It's not the only one. Not everyone's bought into it because they look at the pounds, shillings and pence, not just the impact long term. Coming up with different ideas and different ways of helping people to talk. But I still didn't see me in that chair. I still didn't see me cutting the hair either, or a version of me, until I went through it and I was like, I've got to do something about this. So then I got invited on a podcast, talked about that, which started from a LinkedIn post I did. Said, I need to tell you, people that I know, something about me. And this is what's happened to me. I'm getting better. But I want to say it. And then someone got in touch and said, would you come on my podcast to talk about that?
Hey.
So I did it. And that was really good. I think that us doing this is really important, giving a role model to talk. And, you know, it is all right to reach out and say, need help. And we're not traditionally not very good at it, but we need to be getting better at it.
I think with the building and like farming, you're very what do you call it? Not secluded. What's it called? Where there's not people around you to share things.
You're alone.
You're alone. On the building and rugby, it's such a it's changing. It's changing because I've got kids and nephews and cousins that are all a bit younger that do talk about their kind of bad thoughts or whatever. But my era wasn't. It was very, what do you call it, manly
and macho.
Yeah, macho. Or you're a little bit scared. You might be scared. You might be scared to say, look, I'm feeling nice, because I just ripped the shit out of you.
Oh, do you know what? You read my mind. It's the bullying that comes from going, I'm struggling, but I can't tell this lot. They're just going to take the piss.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't it?
It's so that, yeah.
So educating those around you, and this can be your family and your rugby friends or your colleagues you work with around you will say something and you go away and think, oh my God, do you think that about me?
Yeah.
For days, weeks, months, years, whatever it is.
It just plays on your mind.
Oh, and it's awful. But actually, if they hadn't said it the way they did, I don't think everyone's the same, has this issue. Maybe they do. It's having that understanding from the people around you.
I've said things because the way I've been brought up with like older cousins that they like. I do find my family are one of a kind. The way that they can talk to each other and take the piss out of each other, and a lot of people would actually just kind of cry away, being so offended. You're naive to. Is the way you've been brought up with it. And sometimes you're not actually being horrible. You're just having a laugh with people. And then when you sit back and somebody says something, you feel really sorry and that they've taken it the wrong way because you've never meant it, because you're not that horrible person. But it's like being a comedian. Sometimes you just think you're not feeling like a comedian, but you're just saying and not trying to make fun out of something that's maybe not fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did it last week, and you'd probably kill me for this, right? But we were getting ready for Christmas Day. Jackie coming, we've got to do this, and we've got to iron the Christmas tablecloth. We've got to get this done. I went, who cares? It's a tablecloth. The big scheme of things. Who cares? We won't judge you if there's a wrinkle in the tablecloth. It was in my head. But she's like, no one cares. Why do you care? Well, I'm being a dick.
Yeah.
And I am. But that's not what I meant. It was, we love you.
Yeah.
We're going to have an amazing time. If you don't get a chance, or I don't get a chance, or whatever, I earn a tablecloth, it's going to be all right. But because my mouth goes like that sometimes, and then as soon as she went, that's a horrible thing to say. I'm like, oh, no.
Why did I say that?
Yeah. And I didn't mean it like that. And you go off and you walk out and I'm like, what an idiot. What did I say that for? You know?
But sometimes I find I say things and it's more of a protection defense thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like you snap straight back as a defense, or it could be because you're tired or you've got something else to do. Or a simple thing like ironing a tablecloth. You just think, oh, fucking hell. There's more to fucking worry about than ironing a tablecloth.
Well, you do, anyway. And that's probably why I meant it. It's more important things to do than that.
Yeah.
And my mouth just articulated it before my brain was in gear, right? But then that plays on my mind for a couple of days. But in the end, I was just like, listen, didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
This is what I meant. I'm just saying, don't worry, chill out. We've got it. You've got lovely people coming around. They're not going to be judging you on this.
Yeah. It's funny how you can just take just a funny one just before I come out, actually. Me and Susie are in the kitchen. I've just got in from work. Susie's been walking the dogs or doing whatever. And we've got a big bowl of turkey and stuffing left over from Christmas. And we've got 2 of our own dogs, and we're looking after our friend's dog. And the dogs are all sitting there looking at Susie. She's baking a turkey sandwich. So I goes over and starts eating a little bit of turkey at the thing. Anyway, there's not much turkey left, and she's eating a sandwich. So I carries on eating a bit of turkey, and she said, "Do something for me." And I'm thinking, not horribly. I'm just thinking, "You've got a sandwich. You don't need no more." And anyway, she said, "Don't eat all the turkey. I want it." Straight away, I stopped, and she turns around and feeds it to the dog. I was thinking, what? But she didn't mean it
Dog don't
horribly.
care what you're giving them.
I'm thinking, what? I could have had that big bit of turkey, but you gave it to the dog. But that could be taken the wrong way if both of you were tired or grumpy with me.
Yeah.
Then that can cause an upset or whatever.
But I think going through what we've been through, do you feel we're better equipped now to deal with that yourself? You know, to go, "Oh, hang on, no, actually, this is what I meant." Because if I don't tell you, it's going to play on my mind. Whether it plays on yours is kind of hard shit.
Yeah.
But it's going to play on my mind.
I'm working at it. We're seeing a therapist. I see him once a week, and then we see him there's 4 of us. My eldest is his wife, my daughter-in-law, me and Susie. We go because the business is pressure for all of us.
Yeah.
Nobody's the same. Like Dean's not me, even though he's my son.
Yeah.
He's not me. So we go to see this therapist on a weekly basis, and then I see him, and it's been really difficult because I found that he would say something, the therapist, and I don't want to be and even though I naturally nod anyway, I don't want to be a nodder and agree with everything he says.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do say, no, sorry, Tom, I'm not having that. This isn't how I'm seeing you. This is how it makes me feel, and it's really upsetting. There's been tears. I'm not a crier. I cry more at something like if someone's done a sporting achievement.
Yeah.
I'm not an emotional because I see Susie crying. I'm not going to cry. Or my kids actually say, "Dad, we've never seen you cry." My thing for that is you may be really happy when I'm really sad, and if I cry, I'm going to make you sad, and that's my protection.
Defense mechanism.
Yeah. Seeing a therapist has kind of made us look at different ways of talking. I'm not the most intellectual person. I haven't got the word dictionary in my brain, and I can say a word that can be. It's meant to be meaning something else.
Yeah.
But it's the only word I know. But then someone who's maybe a bit clever would take that as an offence, and I don't mean it like that. I'm more of a like. I haven't got that vocabulary to.
You don't need to be a thesaurus to be bright, though.
No, you don't.
Or a dictionary.
You don't, but it's if somebody. It's all different moods, isn't it? If you write a text or an email and you've done it in a jokey way, and they're in a bad mood or emotional mood, and they take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I'm like that. Sometimes I'll try and make something funny out of something that's really not funny. It's just me to try and break the ice. I don't. Yeah. Scared of, I don't know, crying or looking emotional. I'm not scared. It's not I'm not going to go down that route because I'm going to cry. I'm not like that. But this therapist is really open.
And I think I'm lucky I've been through it. And I mean, I'm lucky because not everyone does. And I can see where it's helped you. I think it's been fantastic, right? And it is good for everyone in your brood, in your family. I think, well, I am going to suggest our tip from this would be getting that help, getting those people to listen to you, and are you listening to them as well? Listening to people around you,
without a doubt. Talking and people listening and understanding and being heard. You being heard, them being heard. It makes such a difference. Sometimes you don't even have to. You don't. I've always thought that. Not always, but since this, just talking. You don't need medication sometimes when you go to the doctor. You just need someone to hear.
Yeah.
Just
some advice,
like a hand on the shoulder. Just someone just to kind of be heard. Just to be heard is such a nice feeling.
Yeah, it is. And I think, listen, I take a lot from that. I think being heard, that bit where you were saying about the guy putting his hand on his shoulder when the chickens were being delivered. That's a huge moment, actually, for you, and will be hopefully for others. And yeah, being heard.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Just
Someone getting you.
yeah, someone getting.
There's not many do.
Yeah,
Right.
no, most people, they're either scared and they kind of hide away from it. They're uncomfortable with it, or they just don't want to know, or they're too busy, or they just don't want to know. But if people can start listening and understanding, mate, and get maybe going, oh, you know what? I'm going to let this bloke talk to me. I'm going to listen to him as well if he's got something to say.
Yeah.
And have a hug.
Yeah. Listen, I mean,
you don't have to be, I don't know,
lovers.
You don't have to be lovers. You don't have to be kind of.
Well, when you arrived here at my house today, the first thing was a hug,
Yeah.
right? And I wasn't, a hugger for a long time, but I think probably over the last few years, the world sneezed, COVID come, the world changed, right? And it changed me, and it changed a lot of us. And you've gone through this in that period as well, ironically.
Yeah.
We've gone through a similar thing. It's all right to be vulnerable. That's what I've learned. And to be a little bit more open with your emotions and a little bit more vulnerable with each other around you, even when running your own business, right? Responsible for a lot. And it's all right to still be vulnerable. I could still be a tough son of a bitch at times as well. And I'm sure you can. It doesn't lessen the impact of you getting this help. If anything, it makes it a little bit more bearable. To understand where you're coming from and maybe where the other person is as well.
Yeah.
And I think
every case is different, isn't it? You can't put everyone in the same pigeonhole. A little twerk, a little twist, or whatever to make everyone think slightly different, or whatever. It's so complicated. But just that, letting them be heard, that little hug, touch on the arm, whatever, just gives you that kind of message.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of a boost. So what we think, good place on the journey? In a good place now?
I'm in a really good place now. So you have your natural ups and downs. Like if you go out on the piss, you have a really good time. As you get older, I think you have a downer. A few days later, it's still hanging around. Yeah. If you can get through that, try not to carry on.
Good place now.
Good place now. Yeah. I'm in a really good place. You have your ups and downs. Naturally, you have your natural ups and downs, which is right as well. You can't be punished for them. Loads of things can trigger it. But yeah, I'm more aware of how I'm feeling now. I try and protect myself more but not in a defensive way, just in myself. I will get out of a predicament. I will maybe think before I say something.
Good.
Yeah, and I'm happy. And I say, I wouldn't wish it on anyone what I went through, but I'm glad I went through it to be understanding and put that hand on someone's shoulder and say, you're going to be all right.
Max is going well. Great guns.
It's going well. So it's been a journey. It's a stressful journey. The new generation are coming through and we're getting better staff in. We're very lucky to share. What we've got with people and give them a memory with their kids. So get away from the social media stuff. And the kids, it's really weird with the kids. They're like, oh, there's no Wi-Fi. But you're just like, give them an hour, 20 minutes even, and they're off being like kids, how kids should have been in my time, making friends and adventuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got a wonderful setting for that to do it. But it is a unique place. I've never been anywhere like it for the weekend stuff or corn feed chickens or whatever,
You take it for granted when you're
there all
the time. We actually say, me and Susie, wish we could go on holiday there. The only time that we actually switch off is when we get away from it.
Yeah.
Lucky or unlucky, you're there 24/7, 365. It's our home as well as our business. Again, it's really difficult, but I can't say that if I really do sit back and think about it, I'm so proud of what we've all achieved and what we can share with everybody.
It is. Listen, I think it is amazing what you do and the joy that your graft and hard work brings. And maybe we'll do a different podcasts on the plate of farming or the struggles of being a chicken and egg farmer.
It's not just stories I know, great stories that people will be interested in on that, the all types of farming farmers that we've met, from sheep to cows to milk. Some of the stories you just kind of go, really?
And it's hard. Listen, we will definitely do that because I've got a story. Ironically, got some story on that as well. I love knowing the struggle we'll talk about in that podcast, where you are and where your farm is, and coming on a Saturday and Sunday, and there's the rum and reggae, silent disco nights, all that stuff. You don't expect to have on a farm. And if you knew Ditchling, you wouldn't expect it to be Ditchling either. But it's cool. People come from everywhere. Famous for your wheelbarrows,
squeaky
wheelbarrows everywhere. And I think one of the greatest benefactors of you coming through what you've been through will be all those people that are lucky enough to come to Max.
Yeah.
Right? Because you bring in that joy. You've got I'm going to go for a phrase that I shouldn't say, but joie de vivre. Right? Being a Welshman it shouldn't be things like that. But the joy that you bring, right? And I know it's a bit soppy. It is incredible, but look, you've achieved some fantastic stuff. I think thanks for coming onto the podcast today. Your story that we've told today, I think, stands on its own feet there, and it's really important. You'll inspire someone, you'll help someone.
Well, I really hope
100%. And we'll do it again.
Oh, definitely. I've enjoyed it. Talking.
Yes, talking
on the show.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Get in touch if you want to leave any comments. You can search up the Max Farm on Instagram or Google and all that. We will get the links in the comments, but I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
I'm the owner and I can't remember.
So there's no chance.
Yeah. www.themaxfarm1word.co.uk, I think.
Yeah, we'll stick it in and hyperlinks and all that, and you can click on there. And look forward to hopefully seeing you down there, and you can see me and Danny, or you might see Danny running around. You come at Christmas dressed as a tree. I think one year I was like, who's that bloke?
I've been dressed as lots of things. Yeah. I do like dressing up.
Yeah, I know. Or down.
Too much talking about that.
I know. All right, thanks, Danny.
Thanks so much.
Cheers,
Cheers, buddy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Stop.